So far this fall, we've had a couple of nice cold fronts, and we're expecting another one here this upcoming weekend. So, well, let's talk about the front. What is a front anyway? Well, the front is the leading edge of an air mass. So as a cold air mass heads our way, the leading edge, the boundary, that's the front. So basically, a cold front, and these are the only fronts you get to choose from, by the way. That'll become clear why I said that in a second. Cold front, that's the leading edge of cold air. The warm front, that's the leading edge of warm air. We see both of these quite frequently around the Rio Grande Valley, especially warm fronts, because a cold front will stall just south of us and then whip back north as a warm front, because the warm air shoves its way back north. As always, right? And then, of course, the stationary front we see all the time, where the warm pushing out one side and the cold pushing on the other pretty much come to a draw. And, you know, they just can't move. So the front, the boundary just sort of hangs out. Occluded fronts, that's pretty much for the north, from the plains over to New England and such. So we don't typically see that type of action. But again, we have an opportunity to just sort of dig in and say, yeah, okay, I get it. The leading edge of colder or cooler air is a cold front. Not a cool front. There's no such thing as a cool front. There's cool air behind a cold front, but no, only cold, warm, stationary, and occluded. And occluded doesn't really pertain to us. Leading edge of warm air, there's your warm front again, and the loggerheads just can't move one way or the other because you're getting equal push on either side. Means that stalled front is a stationary front. And those boundaries, typically, that's where you find rain or thunderstorm activity blossoming. But not this time. I'll explain. 62 degrees overnight tonight, south wind 5 to 10 miles an hour. Very nice start to tomorrow. 69 by 8 a.m., 90 by noon, and then 94 by afternoon. Well, at 12 degrees or plus above normal. Yeah, normal's 82 Mid-Valley. We're going to be 94 from Raymondville to Harlingen, 92 Brownsville, 95 basically for McAllen, 94 Edinburgh. And that southeast wind will be just nice. But then on Sunday, things change big time. Afternoon temperatures start dropping because the cold front moves through about midday. Look at that, wind shifts to out of the north-northwest and starts gusting stronger, which means, well, we'll have a weather watch, a fire weather watch in effect for Sunday. All right, here you go. Here's your front pushing on down to the south. And you can see at 11 a.m., we're still at 84 degrees because the front hasn't moved through. And then once it does, by afternoon, the cool, dry air comes in behind it, and voila, 71 degrees in the afternoon. So temperatures are just trail off all afternoon. And then running on into Monday, we're going to start today at around 49 degrees and end up at about 66 in the afternoon. Holy smokes. A good graph always demonstrates this better, right? Right. So there's your 49 degrees to start Monday morning and 69 at best for a daytime or an afternoon high. And then you got 46 for an overnight temperature into Tuesday morning and 76 for an afternoon temperature on Tuesday. Far cooler than we've seen so many days past. Now your wind on Sunday, as I said, is going to be cropping up 15 to 25, gusting to 35. It's dry, it's cool. The grasses, we've got plenty of brown grass around the valley, so we will have that fire weather watch in effect for the entire valley until 9 o'clock in the evening on Sunday. And then you roll through the 7-day, and you can see this is brilliant. This is wonderful stuff for us. And then we bounce right back into the 80s and even above normal by the end of next week. So folks, enjoy the respite from the heat.